In today's video, we're going to be breaking down a Shopify store that is not for the faint-hearted. And what I mean by that is that this would not be an easy business to replicate. However, that doesn't mean there's not a ton of opportunity in what I'm about to show you. So it's worth it for you to stick around for the next 5 minutes or so. Just sit back, relax, and let's just get right into it, okay? We're not going to waste any time. As you see here, I'm in a store called Impressions Vanity Company. Now, you may be thinking, what do they sell? I can't even see anything here. What they do sell is vanities. They literally sell just a whole ass vanity for women to do their makeup in, or men. You know, some men do their makeup these days, and that's totally fine. That's it. That's what they sell. And that's not an easy niche, right? Because this is a massive undertaking. I mean, a whole vanity has got to be pretty difficult to ship, pretty difficult to assure quality-wise. Yet this brand is able to scale to nearly $7 million a month. And lately, they've actually been popping off even more. Now, I'm using Shop Hunter. It's an incredible tool that I really like. Shout out to the founder. The guy's super cool, super deep in the trenches of drop shipping and e-commerce as a whole. So he really made a dope tool here. Now, it's not entirely accurate. I never trust these numbers 100%. And, you know, that's a good lesson for life. In general, just always be a little bit skeptical, take things with a grain of salt, but it's still an amazing benchmark to just how powerful this niche actually is. And we're going to be going over how they've been able to build a community, because this is the most important lesson here. So we're just going to start there. You know, with a niche like this, the content opportunities are plentiful, especially since makeup is a massive niche, not only on YouTube, but just on every other content platform. So they're able to really capitalize on that. Now, I'm not going to lie. They're not the best at this. They're not the best at creating videos here. If I were them, and maybe this is a good piece of advice for you, I would try to create some sort of series around makeup and using the vanities as a sort of backdrop to it. Not really like the main centerfold, but just making a fun content series about it. I think it's really helpful these days to think of your e-commerce store as a media company as well, and think about content that you could create. This is a common theme we've been seeing across very, very big brands, including Gymshark, for example, who've achieved a $1 billion valuation. So that tells you something about how powerful that is. And one of the reasons being, besides obviously the brand awareness, is the community aspect. People really get close to your brand when you do this. Now, something brilliant that they're doing, which is super simple, anybody could do this, you and I can do this, is they're reposting all of their short form content across other social medias. So this is some of the same content that we saw on Instagram Reels. Now, it's not all of the content. They're not reposting literally every single piece, but they are reposting a good amount of it, which is awesome. That's really powerful, and it's a good way to like 5x, 10x your reach without really doing too much more work besides just reposting it to a different platform. Now, they are running a good amount of meta ads, so that's the next thing that we want to take a look at, get some inspiration for ad copy, for types of videos that work, because in order to scale to these levels, you have to put a decent amount of money on ads, unless, you know, you're just a beast at organic traffic and you've been around for a long time. But they're really doing very simple stuff. So they're running really simple ad copies like this: discover your favorite glam essentials and Impressions Vanity. Super good intro type of ad copy right there, just introducing you to the brand. And then they're running this Instagram reel that they posted on their feed as an ad, because it's a really good back to school ad. So this is really one of the most powerful things that is not talked about when it comes to posting a lot of short form content. If you're a brand and you're posting a bunch of this content, what's great about it is that you can then use that content as ads. So this is sort of the playbook that we run at Akemi, which is my company. And it's just shooting a bunch of content out there, figuring out what works in the marketplace, and amplifying it with conversion optimized machine learning. Now, that sounds fancy, but what that means is just using meta and advertising dollars in conversion optimization campaigns, which is an easy setting that you can choose when creating ad campaigns, and running that up. You can do the same thing on TikTok. You can do the same thing on YouTube. And guess what? It actually works. It not only grows your community, it not only grows your follower count, but it also gets you sales. And if you do it right, you can get sales at a profitable rate. And that's literally when you create a money printer, a cash flow machine that's really the goal, in my opinion, with paid media. It's just try to figure out how to create that cash machine so that you can just keep running it, keep putting more money into it and taking out double the money, sometimes 3 times the money, sometimes more than that. So, it's one of the best investments you can make if you actually crack the code. It's better than really any stock you could own. So, yeah, honestly, they're not doing anything fancy. And I love to see that personally, because I think a lot of people overthink the process. And of course, creativity will help you, but sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And, for example, if I were to take this and start a brand around it now, if you have a brand around this and you're already doing good, hit me up. Maybe I could invest, or maybe my company can help you continue to grow profitably. But if I was to start something, I would start with a niche like this, where it's like more portable vanities, because my big concern with this, and I prefaced this at the beginning of the video, so I don't want to hear any comments about, Ari, this is an unrealistic idea, blah, blah, blah. I gave the disclaimer. But yeah, this would be really hard to do. I mean, the barrier to entry would be huge. However, I think there is an appealing factor with that. And for example, what you could do is either start with smaller vanities, more portable vanities like I showed you, or what you can do is figure out somebody in your city, somebody in your country that already has this logistics system or supply chain on lock, and build a partnership with them. Tell them, look, I'm a beast at Facebook ads. You can say that even if you're not the best. Or I'm a beast at organic content. We can really blow this up if you let me partner with you. You ship everything. You just worry about getting products in, and I'll worry about creating a website, marketing it, blah, blah, blah. There's so many businesses still out there that you'd be surprised are just not willing to go online, just because it kind of is an undertaking. If you're a busy entrepreneur, you're maybe older, you didn't grow up with technology, you may not know how easy it really is to get online these days with your business, especially with Shopify. Shopify makes it extra easy, but you can be the person to introduce them to that and partner up with them and build a pretty interesting business with a high barrier to entry that no dropshipper out there is really going to want to copy you. That's something to think about. These are kind of the creative ways that you can start thinking to take your dropshipping business to the next level, or start your business without worrying about as much competition or being unique. And that's it. That's what you get on this channel, just some creative juices and some interesting data. I love looking at data because data doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. People do sometimes, but numbers don't. So that's great. That's really about it though. See you in the next video. Peace.